This is the drive up to St Mary's Church, as I say, on the Easton Neston estate in Northamptonshire, and it's on this private estate, as you can see, and it's such a wonderful estate and exceptionally well kept. And all of this was owned by the Esquiffs family. I do believe that most of it still is. However, they don't actually own the manor house any longer. I do believe that Lord Esquiff sold that off some years back. I did have the good fortune of meeting Lord Esquiff and Lady Esquiff. There were two Lady Esquiffs. The one we called the old Lady Esquiff, and she used to wear a patch over one eye. I believe that one of her brothers actually fired an arrow into her eye when they were children, and she was blinded in one eye. And then there was the young Lady Esquiff, who I also had the good fortune to meet, only on the basis that I carried out work for them at the house, at the large house. And as you can see, as we come up, you can see all these wonderful pheasants, and the church here is on our right hand side. There's so many pheasants here, it's just untrue. These look all female to me. Yeah, partridges and pheasants. These are partridges, but yeah, look at them all. Can you see them? They're so silly they don't get out of the way of the car. They really are silly, but I'm trying my best not to run them over. There we go. Yeah, come on, dude, get out from under the car. I don't think I've caught any. I hope not. And yeah, so fantastic. I hope you enjoy the video. Manor house. I thought I'd just film that for you, so you can get a quick look, see what it's actually like. So here we are, people, St Mary the Virgin's Church at Easton Neston. I hope you can see that okay. As I say, I came here once before and the church was all closed up, and it's very rare in actual fact that the church is actually open. So I believe it is open today. I've seen some chap wandering around up there who I think I'd met before, and so what we'll do, we'll have a look at this. A beautiful church, really is fabulous little place. So we're going to have a wander round. I'm expecting to find lots of monuments inside the church to the Esquiff family. I think they had quite an interesting history, the Esquiffs. But look at this beautiful church. That is fully zoomed out, I believe. Let me try this. That's better. I knew there was something wrong there, people. Just couldn't figure out what it was. But yeah, it's a really beautiful church. And we're so lucky to have such a glorious day today. Isn't that beautiful? And behind this church is actually the manor house, and we may be able to have a little peek. It'd be a bit naughty of me, I know, but this would have been the private entrance from the manor house to the church. I can't quite see the house from here, no, but it's up there and I've been in it many times. Let's take a wander down. As you can see, there's quite a few tombs and various memorials here. It's a beautiful spot, this. You know, when they had money back in the day, they really had money. Look at this. I think that opens up directly onto the chancel. It's not very big, is it? When you look at it, how small is that? You know, I'm not the tallest person in the world. Let me see if I can flip this camera. So this wonderful church has actually stood on this site for over 800 years, and the first recording of a rector here was a Nicholas de Grey in 1223, can you believe? It is fabulous, this place. It really, really is. And it wasn't just the private chapel, it was always been the parish church for the two villages of Easton Neston and Showesley, which is just up the road. We'll take a wander down and a wander in. As I said, I've had a wander round already, and there are some wonderful monuments and hatchments in here, all relating back to the Fermor stroke Hesketh family, and the tower has a peal of 8 bells, and as you can see, it's in 4 stages. It really comes out nice, doesn't it, against that wonderful blue sky that we're having today. If you hear any noise in the background, it's coming from the race course. I don't know if they've actually got a race meet on today or not, but something's going on over there. We'll have a wander round to the front here. Bear with me. I wanted to show you as much as I possibly can of this beautiful church, because as I say, it's very rare that it's actually open, and you can't normally get into it. There's some lovely stained glass windows in here, and as I say, there are some wonderful hatchments in here and memorials to the Hesketh's family. There's a squirrel over there. Don't know if you can see him hopping around. Look at that, it's beautiful. It was restored in around about 1960, the interior of the church, by one of the Heskeths. But having said that, the majority of the church is original. Obviously the pews, when we go in, it's box pews. Again, a rarity to see, Victorian. And so let's go in and have a look. There you go. I'm not the tallest person in the world. And look. So that's rather cool, isn't it? So here we go into the church, and I'll give you a little look around, but you will see it is such a wonderful church. It really is beautiful in here and exceptionally well kept. And we will take a wander round, and you can see some of these hatchments on the wall and the beautiful stained glass windows, to which we're going to have a look at. And behind me there are more hatchments here. We have a lovely collection of various monuments, and I'll show you this one here. And it's in the family vault near this place are the remains of Peter Dennis Esquire, who died aged in 1816, aged 56. Person alike distinguished for the accomplishments of his mind. And Lady Charlotte Dennis. I don't know anything about the Dennis family, but it's rather nice, isn't it? If you look at that, rather beautiful. here we have another one, and this is to the Fernmouths. What I like to see, and you don't normally see these little plaques put up by the Esquiffs in memory to the people who worked on the estate, and that shows a great deal of respect. You don't see those in churches, because as we know, most of the churches are or were on private estates, and that. We have a monument there to Montagu Dennis. Don't know anything about that. And there's a small piscina in there. If you can see that small piscina in there as we come up. We have another monument there that dates back to 1569. Lies Sir John Fermor of Easton Neston. Whoops, the sun's coming in there quite strongly. And here we have a little piscina here, or what would have been. Pan back. Now, the estate was actually purchased by Sir George Fermor, I believe. No, I've got that wrong. Yes, Richard Fermor. The estate was purchased by Richard Fermor in 1531. Unfortunately, he died in 1552. And again, we have these wonderful plaques here that have been put up by the Esquiff family, for all the people that used to work on the estate. And this is obviously a memorial to the people, the village, who gave their lives during the Great War. This I thought was rather interesting. Mrs. Clara Ann Liddell. She was 91 years old and devoted nurse and friend of the family for 59 years. Again, it was put up by Lord and Lady Esquiff. You know, they really showed. Here we have a little squint. You can see the squint there. Now, these walls would have been adorned with paintings, as we know, and I have noticed that there have been a couple that have been uncovered, so we shall be having a look at those. But these would have been where the Lord and Lady would have sat. Look at the red velvet. And see if I can open the door and get in. And this is where the High and Mighty would have sat in here. As you can see, the other box pews are only wooden, but these are all covered in red velvet, so they didn't get their little bodies hurt or splintered. But there are some wonderful... Oops! Steve falling over again. You know I always fall over. On the wall here we have this wonderful drawing, and it was by surveyors from Banbury in Oxfordshire, and this is how the church would have been. And as you can see, there would have been a large wooden cross up there. Also, what's interesting, we have a really nice Flemish tapestry, which I'm going to show you, which is up on the altar. But this is rather nice. I've got to be careful I don't fall over. To my right, we have this enormous monument. I hope you can see that. And it is so heavy, they've had to put extra buttresses in because, whoops, I got to watch the sun. And it's so heavy they've had to put extra buttresses in and block a doorway up that was here. Otherwise it would have crumbled into the church. This is a wonderful coloured stained glass window, and I hope you can see that. It's rather beautiful. Here, I noticed this here. This is rather unusual. Look at that. That's rather beautiful, isn't it? And as we come down the church, I'll show you around. To the left is this massive monument to Sir George Fermor, a knight who died in 1612, and the body of Dame Mary, his wife, who died in 1628. And the colours on this are phenomenal. It's exceptionally well done. Look at that. I'll show you as much as I can. Now, because this is a tiny parish church and on this estate, these alabaster tombs are in remarkable condition. Really, they're some of the best I've seen. This, I presume, is a cockerel. Now, what the significance of that is, I do not know, but this would have been the knight's helmet. But what the cockerel, heaven knows. But seeing that coming at you in battle. And these are all their children. They had a remarkable amount of children. As you can see, the sun is coming through and giving us this, the colours of the stained glass window on the bottom of the tomb there. But look at that, that is phenomenal. What I also noticed is here we have a prayer book from 1842, and I'm going to open it up and show you. Got to be very, very careful of some of the pages, but I thought you would like to see that. As I say, that dates back to 1842. There's another one over here which dates back, that's also 1842. Whoops, they're in very poor condition, so maybe I shouldn't even be touching them. Whoops, says Stephen. Naughty boy. I'll put that back. I couldn't work out what the significance of these were, but they are, I don't know, pieces of wood, coats of arms, don't know. These obviously were for collecting donations, very heavy. And underneath here we have another tomb to another knight. This is this wonderful tapestry, as I say. It's a Flemish tapestry, and it actually dates back to the first half of the 15th century, or 1500s, should I say. Look at it, it's rather lovely, isn't it? And it's in exceptional condition. Look at that. I'll pan back so you can see it in all of its glory. As you can see, the church is still used by the candles. And it sits on a, well, I think it's a 20th century rodeo. Again, we have that cockerel crest there, which I presume goes back to the Eskiffs. Must be their crest, I'm not sure. And this is to George, the 3rd Earl Pomfret and 4th Baron of Lempester, a dutiful son and a most kind brother. That. And at the top we have the Honourable Thomas Hatton George Fermor, and he died in 1864. I hope you can see that. If we look back down the church, again you see a massive hatchment. What I want to show you is these wonderful paintings I've spotted. Again, we have a small piscina in this corner here. There's probably many things that I'm missing. I'll show you this wonderful stained glass window here. Got to be careful because the sun is coming through that window so strong. And I'm going to pan in slightly. I hope you can see that, but obviously before this chapel went up, that whole wall would have actually been painted. It's rather gorgeous, isn't it? And to think the age of those, and it's survived all these years, they would have been really, really vibrant colours. As I understand, the reds and the blacks were the cheapest pigments that they could use during that time. Let's come back. We have another little piscina here. I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah. All of this wall would have been painted. Underneath this plaster is probably still there. And we look back down the church. It really is in wonderful condition. Down the bottom here, we have this rather pink memorial to Frederick the 2nd Baron, Eskiff. It says Frederick the 2nd Baron and then Eskiff the 9th Baronet. Yes. That's enormous, isn't it? Well, I do hope you've liked this tour of St Mary the Virgin's Church. What I forgot to film was this wonderful font, which again, this would date back to around about the 1300s. It is beautiful, tiny little font, and as we see, it's lead lined. This is why they had to put these covers on. They stopped using the fonts because they're lead lined, because of the sort of lead poisoning. I do hope you've liked the tour of St Mary the Virgin's Church. Please like, subscribe, and check out some of the other videos I have on the channel. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye. go.